am so excited that you're here to chat with me today about something that I think is really going to help you. Have you ever felt really exhausted, frustrated, fatigued, frazzled from your day-to-day life, from being too busy, too much on the go? Well, I'm here to have a conversation with you about this. Have you ever thought that you might be doing too much of the same thing? We're going to be talking about balance and harmony in real mom life, so stay tuned. Let's talk about balance and harmony today. Now, have you ever thought about the word balance and that it might not be ever attainable to have complete balance in your life? So if you think about like a typical balance scale, this might be what we're looking for, is a balanced equation between all the roles and all the hats that we wear in our life. Now, I know a lot of people disagree with the term balance, and I agree with them because I don't think we can ever have perfect balance. And I think the more we strive towards perfect balance, the more out of whack we feel, because we feel like we're never attaining something that is actually unattainable. So we're going to talk about how yin and yang show up in your life, and then how we can actually begin to balance that to create more harmony. So it'll be interesting to have this conversation, to hear, have you ever thought about this in this particular way before? So what we're going to do today is we're going to actually talk about yin, we're going to talk about yang or yang, and we're going to talk about what these two concepts mean, what activities they support. We're going to determine what you are, which one of these categories do you fall into, and how this general knowledge of these two entities can actually help serve you moving forward. So we make sure you're not doing too much of the same thing to create more of that balanced harmony in your life. So first of all, the yin, let's talk about the yin. So a yin side is typically slower moving, more lethargic, maybe more patient for sure, withholding, reserving, retreating, and just like more of that slow moving energy in our life. Now, activities that yin type of people are drawn to, definitely they're kind of pulled back into their house. They may be more introverted. They may really appreciate that retreat away from their daily life to kind of block out the outside world. Yin activities, like activities that you might be drawn towards if you're a yin personality, well, you just like to retreat. You might retreat to doing things on the couch, like just watching TV or reading a book, and you're not too keen on really the get up and go. You're not too keen on doing things like running or things that really exert a lot of energy. So take a moment. Are there yin characteristics of your personality? Are you very much so a yin? And really there's a spectrum of each. Do you find yourself leaning more towards an extreme situation or extreme characteristic of yin? Now, yin people, they do tend to carry a little bit heavier of weight, because they don't love exercise. The exercise part of life does not appeal to them. So as a result, they tend to be carrying a little bit more weight. Now, so think about if maybe you're gonna be in that category of yin, or if you see some yin type of activities pop up in your life that you're really drawn to. So on the other side, we have yang or yang, and we're going to talk about, maybe just for example's sake, like polar opposite. So the yang person is really the fast action, the get up and go, the person that does not stop. It's like the Energizer bunny. They really could be a type A personality, and they don't like to slow down. Okay. So yin or yang type of activities, these kind of people think that they have to push hard to get desired results. So they're the people that really like to push themselves physically, even mentally. So they're like at spin class or running a couple miles every day, and they have a hard time sitting down and slowing down. So think about the yang and see if there's anything that resembles you and your life and the activities that you're drawn towards. So yes, there could be a very great mixture of yin and yang in your life. But for today's sake, let's see if we can kind of like decide if we're one or the other, or primarily one or primarily the other. So we can now look at the aggravating factors that come into play with both yin and yang. The factors that can further drive us to a health imbalance or a mental block, all of which really can degrade the quality of our life. So let's go to yin, the person that may not like to do a lot of vigorous activity, that tends to be a little bit more slow moving and enjoy those quiet, introspective times of their life. If we have too much of yin, again, it can result in health problems associated with weight gain, physical inactivity, and of course there are those associated health risks of not treating your body as a temple, or at least treating our body in a way that we don't respect what our bodies need to feel fueled, energetic, and feeling like we can live a really healthy, long life. So that's kind of the imbalance of the yin, is not having enough get up and go, perhaps not having enough motivation to pick up a self-development book, or to, walk with a friend one evening because you think it's too much physical or mental exertion. On the other side, the yang people can hit a brick wall, but in a different way. Yang people can hit a brick wall because they're too busy. They're too busy for the needed physical and mental rest to create the balance that they so crave in their life. So both sides are feeling like they need more balance, and each need to incorporate more of the other. And we'll get to that in a second. So the yang person won't slow down. They won't sit down. They won't calm down. And so we can see things like a lot of anxiety. So there's worry, there is fear, because this person is always moving forward. So they can be quite caught up in the future, which creates a lot of anxiety. And they feel like, so they can experience like definitely a increased heart rate, even heart palpitations, where it's just like anxiety pumping through the heart. They can experience mental burnout because they don't appreciate or see the need or the value in slowing their brain down. Yang people can often associate slowing down with weakness. And when in fact, the weakness, the weak link with the yang people is that they're doing too much and they're not allowing their body time to rest and recover. So you do see the imbalances of both sides. And again, we can be in the middle somewhere, but maybe you have days where you're very much dominated by the yang personality and you're not giving yourself enough time to rest. And that feels like anxiety. It feels like you're suffocating. It feels like your to-do list is never ending, and it feels like your heart is racing. And at times, maybe you're more on the yang or on the yin side, where you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm eating too much. I'm not listening to my body. I am not moving my body in a way that it needs to feel alive. And I think we can all associate with both. Okay, so here's a couple tips. Here's the 3 things we can do right now to harness the power of this knowledge and turn it into a more balanced equation, which equals more harmony in our life. So the first one is recognize what type you have too much of. Now, it's not a bad thing. It only becomes a problem when we're too far on one side, and then when we're not recognizing that we need to pull back and incorporate more of the other side to create that harmony. So what type are you? Too much yin, too much yang. Observe your out of balance patterns that you have in your life. Maybe you're that A type that never stops. And we can recognize that observation from a third party standpoint. Oh crap, that's what I'm doing. That's actually contributing to my anxiety, my racing heart, my whatever it might be. So recognize out of balance patterns on either side. And the third thing is incorporate a little bit more of the opposite. So yang people, they might love spin class, just for an example. fine, keep doing spin if you love it, but let's pick from the yin pile. What could you take from the yin pile that would help you slow down? So maybe you're going to incorporate like some walking, meditation, restoration, restorative yoga. If you're a yin and you're not doing enough physical activity to keep your body healthily moving, what do you need to pick from the yang pile to put into your court so that you become more balanced, energized, fueled, excited, optimistic, and motivated? Check out my freebie. Is a free checklist of what type you may be more of, and then some great activity ideas to bring more harmony in your life. I hope you found this helpful. Would love to hear from you. Click on the big button wherever you are and get that freebie coming your way, and we're gonna start experiencing more harmony in your life. Have a great day, everybody.